What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from TruthBlitz. Hope you guys are having a good one. So today, first off, I'm wearing my One Lambo shirt because it's kind of fitting for what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about price suppression and manipulation. And I know Crypto Blood came out yesterday and made a video stating how he doesn't believe that we're being suppressed or manipulated. And you know, that's my boy, and we agree on a lot of things, but that's one thing that we don't agree on. And I understand and realize that he has years of trading in different markets and just trading experience in general. But we're going to go over an article that a subscriber of mine sent me, Saint Teal, and I appreciate him sending me this really good article that somebody compiled with a lot of evidence, or I guess we can call it evidence, that really points to us being manipulated. So, and it's a really long article, but we're going to go over it and we're going to talk about it and talk about a couple things. But first, let's take a quick look at the market. So currently, we are $264 billion overall. Bitcoin dominance 45.3%, and Bitcoin is going back up slightly. We have everything pretty much in the green, and obviously Tether is in the red. You know how that works. Everything in the green, Tether in the red, Tether in the green, everything else in the red. So Bitcoin's up 6.21% at $7,071. And if we take a look at Crypto Blood's chart, actually let's do a quick refresh on it. You can see we are trading along this close to the same area where we got slapped down a couple times already. So I believe that we're probably going to get slapped back down to the 6,600 area. Maybe we'll drop down lower to this $5,900 area, or maybe we will come back up and test this general area again. Now, I know there is not a resistance line drawn in here, but this has kind of really become an area of resistance. I know we didn't quite make it up to the same area before. If we go off just the actual candles, we'll call this we'll call it 7,200, I guess. It's a little bit lower, but anyway, what I want to do is get into this article here. And this is it's titled, it's on Steam, and I will link this in the description for you guys to read yourself, because I'm not going to read the whole article, really long, but we're going to go over some key points. Now, it's titled Fourth Dimension, Bitcoin Manipulation Cartel, Price Suppression is the Goal. And it starts off, every market has three major dimensions, and everyone knows that: technical analysis, fundamental analysis, manipulation. This post has been going viral, therefore I'd like to remind all, please take this as opinion only. So again, this is not fact, but basically this is some research that has been put together for you to look at and say, you know, does this kind of validate the theory that, you know, we are being suppressed? Or is this just a big nothing burger? So I believe we're being suppressed, and that is because other markets are suppressed. And we're going to go over this. We're going to talk about some key points, so we'll get into it. But I'm only trying to point out that undercurrents in the water are swimming in. Undercurrents are never seen. They can only be experienced. I can be proven wrong in the end. Only time will tell. Therefore, please validate, verify, and trade according to your plan. Use this as pause for thought. So Cartel, the fourth dimension of the market. There's a fourth dimension that exists in few markets. It's called Cartel. Its primary goal is price suppression. Please note, it is not manipulation. So is Cartel active in crypto space? I strongly feel so. I'm presenting my research so you can validate yourself. I called for Bitcoin correction of 95% before CME opened its doors. Check my Twitter account at SuperCrypto. So far, 70% of it is already in place, but don't expect 95% correction to happen in one shot. We will see many rallies and dumps in between. Nothing goes in a straight line. 20K is just the first inning. We are in for a long ride for a few years. Since when is Cartel active? Or since when Cartel is active? Actually, I said it right. He has it on here wrong. Cartel entered crypto space somewhere in October of 2017. Their presence started showing the hour CME futures market opened its doors for crypto. Bitcoin dump started exactly at the moment CME opened doors at 5 p.m. on December 17th, 2017. See this daily Bitcoin chart, and you can see here CME first trading day, December 17th, 2017, and then we got a dump. And then we rallied, FUD. All the way down, we went up, we rallied again, and then we got some more FUD over here. So I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but let's just, let me see here. Don't believe in Cartel. I know it's hard to. In my view, everything that happened since CME opened on December 17th has been manufactured. Bitcoin is being taken for a ride with the rookies at CME. We will wait till the real players join the table. This is how Cartel has worked since the CME opened. Check this chart. Click on the image and read all news. Okay, let me see. Please note the items listed under January 30th and March 7th below are the news only. This is how Cartel uses media propaganda to break the price. Example, Mt. Gox did not sell on March 7th, but the news of this sell was released on March 7th. Also, the Tether subpoena was issued in December 6th, but the news was released with the other critical news releases on January 30th. The objective, to start the next dump. Why did they wait 55 days to release the Tether subpoena news, and how did it hit with all the other bad news on the same day? You know why. So if we look here, CME starts again. Institutional money will pour into Bitcoin. We are going to the moon, Lambo, etc., etc. And then we got slammed down. Again, this is that same part that we looked at. Now here, January 30th. And these are all the news releases here. So we really kind of started a big dump downward. And here is 70% correction 50 days later. So we started to rally again, March 7th, and then here is all of the listed news again. So, you know, this just kind of goes to support the theory. And again, this is a theory. This is not really proof or hard evidence. I'm more conspiracy minded, you know, and I know that this is done on the gold market and the silver market and other markets as well. So, you know, it's only if you take a step back and look at it, why would they not do this to Bitcoin? When Bitcoin and cryptocurrency poses such a big threat, first of all, to fiat and the stranglehold that the central bankers have on us through the debt-backed fiat currencies. So anyway, I'm not going to list all the news here, but you can see we are heading downward again at this point. Do you know where 6 days of daily dump? There were 6 days of daily dump after March 7th, starting at exactly 11:30 Eastern Time. Zero Hedge recorded it here. And let me see. So 6 days of daily dumps starting at 11:30 Eastern time. That's pretty coincidental. A serial dump since March 24th to April 1st. Below is another interesting pattern. Selling observed from March 24th to April 1st, 2018. What do you see here? Anytime prices try to recover, dump appears from nowhere. And I've seen that happen numerous times. All these are high volume dumps. Most of the dumps start below the previous dump price. So here we go. Does it look like a seller who wants higher price for their Bitcoin or a lower price? I see they want a lower price. Why? You tell me. So here's just an image of the chart, and it just kind of shows where all these dumps were. So again, I'm going to link this in the description so you guys can really go through it in detail. This talks about OKEX and their announcement, and I saw the article in Cointelegraph actually. We're going to skip over this part and go down to want to see how the FUD is manufactured. Do you know on February 7th someone hacked China's central bank mailbox to email a bogus notice about Bitcoin crackdown. Bogus press invitations was distributed to U.S. media organizations claiming that the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and People's Bank of China are about to jointly introduce new measures to crack down on all aspects and services of Bitcoin trading in both mainland China and Hong Kong. So we remember the China FUD, right? The second round of China FUD, I should say. Read the above article to ask a question to yourself. Who would do such a thing? Only those who have interest in breaking down the Bitcoin price, right? Would an ordinary IT guy or a hacker do this? No, because they cannot benefit from doing this. FUD. Only influential cartel can benefit by creating a FUD would do this. Now the fundamentals of cartel theory. Now what is a cartel? We're just going to read just quickly part of this. Cartel is an organization created from a formal agreement between a group of producers of goods service to regulate supply in an effort to regulate, manipulate prices. In other words, cartel is a collective of otherwise independent businesses or countries that act together as if they were a single producer and thus are able to fix prices for the goods they produce and the services they render without competition. Is cartel active in all markets? Not many, but we're going to talk about which ones. Again, gold, silver, oil, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin was added to the list 2 months back. Invisible Hand started showing its presence since December 2017, even though they entered the market much earlier, which is why, going off this theory, we saw such a massive run-up in such a short period of time. If you remember, beginning of the fall, yeah, we were heading upward, but then it really started ramping up, and we got, in a couple months, we just really shot up to just under 20,000. Now, the proof. Before you read any further, let me provide the proof of price suppression in precious metals, gold, silver, uranium, and all that. And here's 25-year uranium chart. As you can see, uranium futures started in May of 2007. Boom, price drop. Gold chart. Actively suppressing gold price in futures market since 2011. I don't know. I feel like it's been before that, but for sure. But anyway, you can see this chart looks very similar, and so does silver. Now this is, let me see if I can see here, February 2011, right? So I remember buying silver back then at, I don't remember what the price was, but I was buying it 2010, 2011. That's when I really started prepping, right? preparing myself and my family for the event of a financial catastrophe, because, you know, I had been through 2007, 2008, and because of that, you can see the price of silver just really started going up. Gold, same thing. And then it got slapped back down. And I remember buying silver at $30, a little more than $30 an ounce. So let's compare these charts to Bitcoin. Now, all these charts look eerily similar, don't they? So far, Bitcoin has consistently gone down since the day CME futures started on December 2017. Will it follow precious metals path? I think so. Still have doubts. See this recent news in the gold futures market. We're not going to get into that right now, but that's about the enforcement actions, the anti-spoofing enforcement actions. Numerous people talked about this, including Dick Sweeter, my buddy Sean over at SGT Report. There were some arrests made for price manipulation in the futures market, and these were kind of smaller fish, though. Who are these entities? They consist of certain traders, agencies, big financial institutions, and media. They all work in a perfect synchronization to pull coordinated attacks to attain the goal of price suppression. Why do they do this? It's all about money control. Financial elite has recognized that Bitcoin and crypto in general is a threat to their existence. Like I said, what do powers do when they see anything as a threat or an enemy? You got it. They try to destroy the enemy by all means. Therefore, it is extremely important for the financial elite to stop Bitcoin's rise so their show can continue. What do they do to stop the rise of Bitcoin? First, they let it rise to unimaginable heights, 20,000 first stop. Then they drop it to unimaginable lows. Now, before I go any further on this, I know, you know, Crypto Blood has talked about, we have seen, and if you want to go by percentages, we have seen corrections and retracements of these percentages before in Bitcoin. Yes, and I know he said in his video yesterday that, you know, why weren't we saying it was manipulated on the way up to 20,000, only on the way down? You know, nobody was yelling manipulation or suppression when the price got slapped down, you know, other times in history when Bitcoin went up and then saw a 70-75% retracement. Now, the market cap was way lower back then. So definitely not as many people. There was really no institutional investors in. And Bitcoin wasn't on the radar of these institutions and these players back then. This is my opinion. Since then, we know that Bitcoin has started to go a lot more mainstream, got a lot more media attention. I remember just in the fall, and I talked to Crypto Blood about this, I was going to go out and do a video when I hit the street, and I was going to ask people, what is Bitcoin or what is cryptocurrency? And I was going to see how many people actually knew what it was. And he was like, yeah, it's a good idea, you should do that. I didn't even get a chance to do that video because in such a short period of time, Bitcoin became such a household name that everybody and their mother and their grandmother knew what it was. So it would have been pointless for me to do that video. So again, it had gotten a lot of traction. People started to realize and learn what Bitcoin was, what crypto was, and buy it. Everybody was trying to figure out how to get it, and so on and so forth. So again, it became a lot realer of a threat to the legacy system. So anyway, when money flows into gold, silver, and Bitcoin, it shows that the powers are bankrupt and their fiat money is worthless. If these assets rise, all the money supply will dry up and move into these assets. World will know the king has no clothes. When money stays in stocks and bond markets, it supports fiat currency trade. Therefore, it is very important that stock and bond markets remain intact and have been kept elevated artificially. In fact, you know what? There's a counterparty to Cartel in stock market, and it's called Plunge Protection Team, PPT. Not Populous, but Plunge Protection Team. Cartel's job is to keep gold, silver, and Bitcoin markets suppressed, while PPT's job is to keep stocks and bond markets elevated. And this just goes over what Plunge Protection Team is. Why not simply ban Bitcoin and gold and get it over with? It does not work that way, folks. There are severe consequences and repercussions of banning any asset, more so in the world of a social media. Let's look at the history first. Most of the people don't know Uncle Sam had banned and confiscated gold in 1933 using presidential executive order. Yes, that did happen. FDR signed an executive order, and they literally confiscated gold from people during the Great Depression. Two things happen when a particular asset is banned. Governments and politicians have to face people's anger, and two, the banned asset gets people's sympathy, and people tend to hoard it even more. It did happen to gold since 1933. There is another option, price suppression. This works far better than banning anything. When price suppression happens, most of the people reject there is anything wrong or malicious about the price drop. And we see that even still with the gold and silver markets. There are literally still people, even though it's a widely known and accepted theory, not theory, but it's actually happening. And it's widely known and accepted by most people that silver and gold are being, especially silver, is being heavily suppressed. But there are still those people, the sheep, we'll call them, because these are the same people that believe everything the mainstream media tells them. They're not free thinkers. They just go along with the herd, and they bury their head in the sand. It's too uncomfortable for them to really look at what's happening and process it. So those people literally still believe that everything that's happening in the gold and silver markets and the precious metals markets is natural. There is no suppression. It's sad, really, it is. But let me get back to where I was. Even though the fundamental are strong in favor of the asset, in the fact, those point out suppression are called conspiracy theorists. Again, yeah, we see that all the time. I don't know how many times I've been called that. And, you know, I'm a conspiracy realist, though. There's a difference. As price keeps dropping, people are despising the asset. See what happened to gold and silver since 2011. The more it dropped, the more people hated it. Many gold bugs sold precious metals at the bottom and switched over to Bitcoin and crypto when it was at the top. This is exactly what they want the retail investor to do, as they collect more of it at lower prices. Therefore, the 21st century is the easiest option to manipulate the price of an asset, so people themselves want to get rid of it without politicians or governments having to face the consequences of banning an asset. Governments and banks have realized that this works far better than banning anything. Therefore, in my view, Bitcoin will not be banned as long as it can be controlled, but its price will continue to drop with many rallies in between, so the average Joe remains a bag holder in the end. Starts despising Bitcoin and sells it at the bottom as Cartel collects more of it at a lower cost average. Bitcoin will be banned selectively initially, only if the crypto bull rages out of their control. Sounds like a grand conspiracy, right? Yes, it is. Let's look at the history of conspiracy theory. So we're not going to look at that. We're going to scroll down. Now this part here, don't do anything but please, or do anything but please do not sell your Bitcoin to the cartel. In fact, add more as they dump it on the market. This is very important. This is a game of wealth transfer from plebs to elite. Here's my pinned tweet written on December 2nd, 2017. I warned well before it started, thank me later. Stop selling Bitcoin to cartel. Two possible outcomes. CME tames Bitcoin, slow grinding to ground over the years like gold. Or two, wild Bitcoin bull burns down CME and economy, prompting government extreme action. Bankers will plan to steal your Bitcoin. Biggest robbery and wealth transfer ever. Welcome to futures market. Now, is this what Cliff High meant when he said they're going to screw the pooch with the futures? I don't know. What is the strategy I'm using? Less of HODL, less of BTFD. STFR, sell the fucking rallies. BTFDD, buy the fucking deep dips. And this is really kind of, if you're not a trader, and I'm not claiming to be a trader, but I have been trying to really look at things from a different perspective and try to adopt some different trade strategies, because it's very clear that hodling, which is mainly what I did most of the time, is not really working as well as it was. My crypto portfolio, and I know I just made a video talking about looking at it in terms of Satoshis and not US dollars, but still I had a very sizable amount in US dollars, and it has literally withered away. So you know, basically I am better late than never, trying to adopt some different strategies, trying to sell when we see nice rallies and then wait to buy back in. Now I know that is something you really need to have discipline for. You need to train yourself to not get emotional, because you may buy in when you think it's the dip and then it could go lower and keep going, or you can sell off when you think, okay, good, there's a rally, let me sell, and then it continues to go higher. And you have to really have discipline to do this. And not only just discipline, you need to kind of, you know, learn the basics of chart analysis and charting and so on and so forth, which is, you know, more so than me doing charting myself. I follow, like I said, I follow Crypto Blood and I follow one other guy because I know that they know what they're doing. Now, where the price suppression takes place, it will be at the futures markets and futures trading at crypto exchanges. How did they do it so far? Cartel heavily bought Bitcoin at the exchanges starting from 2,000 all the way up until 12,000. They let the market fly until 20,000. CME opened on the 17th of December, and they started selling on exchanges. See 1 month before and after CME. Since then, the price has gone down, tracing about 70% so far. This is far from someone on the gold silver side, or this is from someone on the gold silver side explaining how Bitcoin is being manipulated down. I'm not going to read that. How will they do it in the future? Initially, Cartel will continue to suppress the crypto prices at exchanges until futures market volume builds. And you can track the volume at this link here. Once enough volume is built at the futures market, will take over. They will not need Cartel to work at exchanges anymore. At this point, Cartel will move to futures market, which is their home ground anyways. In simple terms, Bitcoin will be sold as soybean when volume like soybean is built at CME. How long will it continue? Look at gold, silver markets for the answer. Price suppression started actively in 2011 and is still going on in 2018. He told we will tame Bitcoin even before CME started. So Leo Melamed made this comment without this knowledge. Nope, he did not mean it, and you can see it every day since December 17th, 2017. I know I'm kind of just reading more than I intended to and kind of babbling at this point, but you guys get the picture. Just really take a look at this article, read the whole thing, decide for yourself, you know, do you think we're being manipulated or not? I do. I mean, I know that the people who are in control of our monetary system hate Bitcoin, plain and simple. All right, so why would they not want to manipulate it? And you can see the overall tone of people when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin has really just, you know, everyone loved it and was optimistic and everyone wanted it and was getting it, and now people have sold at a loss, which is what they wanted to happen. to get out of it, never wanting to look back, and that was the intended goal. That's what they want to happen. They want people out of it. They don't want people getting into crypto. This is why we need to adapt and overcome and play this a little smarter. The difference between gold and silver and crypto and Bitcoin is we the people have more control over this at this time anyway, and I'm sure they're going to try to make it harder. But at this time, we have more control, and we can make it harder for the quote-unquote cartel to carry out their plans of price suppression. Now, I want to read this last part here. One day, cartel will lose control of the markets. That day will be epic. The prices of Bitcoin and gold and silver will rise astronomically. My Bitcoin path is 20,000 to very low price to 100,000. Many people ask me, do you think it will ever go to 1,000? Here's what I suggest. Thanks, 1,000. Take 1,000 as a symbolic figure. If cartel exists, jury is still out. What I mean is they want to bring it so low that people will despise Bitcoin. What is the goal? If you feel like it's 4,000, then it's 4,000. It's a war of real money versus fake money. They are using fake to discredit real. It's very, very important because that's what they're doing. One day, bankers will lose this game. This day, that's the day you want to have a lot of Bitcoin and gold and silver. Buy assets when they fall drastically. I cannot tell the timeline. Extremely important. Do not lose this game. It's people's money, and it must remain with the people. So, again, I know I kind of babbled a little bit through this and read parts that I didn't plan on reading, but you guys get the point now. So what do you guys think? Do you feel like we are being manipulated, or is crypto blood right? And we're not. You know, this is just standard market stuff. You know, this is what the market does. You know, we see 70% retracements, which is true. We have seen that, like I said. But I feel like it's different this time. And the reason why, I don't know if I said this already, you know, he said, why wasn't anyone saying it was being manipulated on the upside when we were heading to 19,000, 20,000? Well, because we didn't realize it at that point. And that's why I think that. You know, we didn't come to realize this till afterwards. Now, this article and my theory, which, you know, pretty much coincides with this article, could be totally off base. This could just be, you know, me being a little overly conspiratorial about it. But I don't believe that's the case. I really, you know, and again, the reason I feel like that is because they're doing it to gold and silver. They're doing it to real money, all right? Because they don't want us to have, they want us to be stuck in this debt-based system, playing the game on their terms, right? And with Bitcoin and with crypto, you know, it's on our terms. So, minus the price suppression. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about the article. I don't know. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this, though. I really am. So make sure you guys leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. Check out the Block Party podcast channel and subscribe over there. I have been getting shadow banned, and I had a feeling I was, and it was confirmed by one of my subs yesterday. And I'm sure there are others out there that this has happened to, but he said he had to subscribe twice because he subscribed and then wasn't getting notifications and then found out he was unsubscribed. So, not sure why they're shadow banning me, but that's Google, right? So anyway, that's it for now, guys. Check me at truthblitz.com, and I will see you guys later.